All right, welcome back to another episode of Discovering Foundations of Truth. My name is John Lemus.
My name is Hussein Ambarwal.
My name is Hertier.
We just get together to try and kind of speak about truths because any area in which you suffer in your life is an area you don't understand, like God's truth about that area. My first question is actually a really tough one, so we're going to see if your brain can start heating up right away. What is your answer to this one? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why do bad things happen to good people? So if you have a God that takes care of everything and he controls everything, why do bad things happen to good people?
I feel like it's a lesson.
Lesson?
Yeah, because yes, we understand that you're good, but are you gonna fold under pressure if something happens? That's how I look at it.
Mold you a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you think or bad things happen to good people?
Test of faith.
Test
I
of
think
faith?
I know from the Bible. There's a story of Job. Story of Job. He had everything God gave him. He was wealthy. He had big family. He had everything, and I think it was the devil came to speak with God himself, and was like, I bet you he will. If you take everything away from him,
He'll
his
curse
family,
you.
give him sickness, he's gonna, like you said,
Curse you. Yeah.
curse you, yeah. And God did exactly that. He took away his family, sickness, his wealth, and he still stayed with God. And after that, he gained even more wealth, a bigger family, all that. And I think that's probably the best story when it comes to faithfulness.
Why bad things happen to good people?
Yeah.
The truth truly is that there are no truly good people on this earth. Yeah, I mean, your heart, they say your heart is deceitful, wicked beyond almost anything. Most of the stuff that happens to us is from our decisions. So whatever we decide to do, that is actually going to bring consequences. Now, God, giving us free will, is going to allow bad things happening, even if you are, in his will and trying to do what you want to do, to test, like you said, to try and, see if, that's something you need to work on or whatever. In that Job story, see, when you speak about this, you got to understand God didn't do anything to Job. God allowed the devil to get in his mind and, have all this stuff happen to him. Because normally God has what's called like a hedge around you. So if you're a good person, a lot of times you're being protected. You don't even really realize it. But from a lot of different attacks from, the evil one, who usually attacks through your mind because he's spiritual. Very seldom does he get into it like a celestial body, unless he possesses it. But one thing you got to realize is, like I said, the devil kind of tries to change your mind about what God is. When he does that, then he's going to try to creep in there, whether it could be, having like addiction to drinking, all that kind of stuff. Whenever your mind ain't right, that's when he can kind of jump in there. So, yeah, things happen to, good people. Like I said, could be to try and, test them and try and make them stronger, or, they could have just made a decision that, is going to bring on consequences. You think they're good, but they're not really that good. So, next question. Ooh. Do you think God is to blame for everything?
No. What do you mean to blame? He created it all. So he understands what's going to happen before it even happens.
Okay, so it's already done.
Yeah.
Do you think God's to blame for anything?
No.
No? It's funny because, like, you can create the very best, say, just give an example, like an apartment building. Perfect. You have all the amenities you need and everything. When people move in, it's no longer the problem of the person who invented it. It's the people who manage.
Yeah,
It's
it's
gonna
not
look
living
like
there
the people
now.
that are managing it, and yeah, just like our lives get kind of crushed when we mismanage what we're doing.
Correct.
So it's not really God that's mismanaging it. God's allowing you to manage it. And
For sure.
it's going to reflect the management, not who actually made it. So that's why the world looks the way it does now, because of our management skills. Next question. How does inspiration work? And why are we inspired by others? So how does inspiration?
I mean, I look at it as it's not like I was gonna say I look at it as like levels.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, he's at a position that I want to be,
Okay.
and I'm not there yet,
inspired by
so
that
I
person.
can
Okay.
just understand what he's doing and see if I can make it just like him or whatever.
Okay. Do you have any ideas about inspiration?
Um,
What about the word itself? Inspiration. Inspired.
Yeah.
In spirit.
yeah, it comes within. And
Yes.
I was gonna say also, human people are everybody's connected whether they like it or not, and we're supposed to make each other better one way or another.
Okay.
And learn from each other. I think that's how I see it. It's just
Okay.
we're all connected, and we should strive to be better and just strive to, like you said, level up
Right.
with each other.
Okay. All right. Whew. Is happiness the most important thing to pursue? Is happiness, I guess it would go by your definition of what happiness is. Is happiness the most important thing to pursue? What do you think?
I mean, if you could define it, I mean, happiness and joy is the same thing to me. So I look at it
If
as
it's the same thing, then yeah, that's the
Yeah.
question for you. Is
Yeah.
happiness and joy the same thing?
Happiness and joy.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
You know it's not, but you don't
Yeah.
know why. Okay.
Yeah.
Happiness is like it happens in a situation. Like some situation will make you happy. I'll give you an example.
For the
Like I go
moment.
buy a brand new car.
Yeah.
You know, and I jump in, I smell the leather. You know, I'm happy. Okay, I drive off the lot. Somebody sideswipes me or T-bones me.
yeah.
I'm no longer happy about
Yeah.
that car because that car is junk now.
I think joy comes within.
Okay, joy comes from your source.
Yeah.
where you feel fulfilled and you feel connected, you know, inspired by your
Understood.
source. So you can't take somebody's joy away, but the happiness can change, you know, depending upon the situation.
Right, I can see where
So
you're coming from.
yeah, it comes from different situations. So is happiness the most important thing to pursue? No.
No, yeah.
If you're always chasing happiness, then you're never really fulfilled anyways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you're chasing physical things where you're really a spiritual being. So, next one would be, can people leave hell and come to heaven if they are good?
And they good where? They already.
People leave hell and go to heaven if they're good.
I don't know about that one.
You don't know about that one?
Yeah.
Maybe
'Cause
not
I feel-
hard.
I mean, I look at it as like you could, like, once you're in hell, that's just your ending goal there.
Game over.
Yeah, so that's what is just my imagination of it. I don't know the truth.
Okay.
I was sad, but
What you think?
Yeah, it's raps. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's actually in the Bible.
Yeah,
Because the one dude tried to
once
come
it's-
from one to the other.
yeah,
Yeah.
once it's
yeah,
you
once
die,
it's
you make your
decided, it's
decisions in life,
decided.
it's over. you
Yeah,
know?
the biggest decision, like I said, you have to choose your source. You have to choose either you want to have you as your God or you have a God as your God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you choose you as your source, when you no longer exist, you get what you choose.
Most definitely.
You no longer exist. You know what I mean? You live in like torment, and because the whole idea is like you shouldn't really be afraid of God necessarily what he's going to do to you. What you should be afraid of is him not putting his blessing and his, you know, gifts on you. You know, that's what you really should fear. Because that's what basically makes you, you know, life worth living. Ooh, man. Where do we really come before we were actually born? Where do we really come from before we were actually born?
Okay. Alright. Like we talk about, like usually you say we talk about energy. Like energy and motion.
Okay. Where do we come from?
But you know, I was gonna say the sperm.
How come I know these answers? Better question. So when we're
But your source, most likely.
Yeah,
it's definitely
God.
come from your source. Okay. So do you remember how we're actually born? Like how was Adam born?
From the
I
dirt.
don't get
From
into
the
all
dirt.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got all that. Yeah. Okay. And then so you have a spirit, you have a soul, and you have a body. Body comes from the ground.
Yeah.
Where's the spirit come from?
It comes from the source.
Comes from your source. That's come from God. Where's your soul come from? Because that's what it's a fight over. It's a fight over your
belief?
soul.
Your belief in God?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
no.
your source as well, right?
Well, your soul actually comes from your environment, your experiences, all that kind of stuff. Because your soul is your mind, your
personality.
will, and your emotions. Okay, so those three things come from that. So when you leave this earth, when your body expires, your spirit, like I said, energy can't die. So energy goes back to where it came from. So it's going back to God. And then your soul, I mean, that's kind of how you know, connect between your spirit and your body. Your soul is kind of like the mediator. So you won't need that once you go back to God, with your spirit. But you still will take your memories and stuff with it, So some people say, oh, when we go to heaven, are we going to even know who's there? Are we going to see our mom again? Or,
We'll
supposedly,
see.
yes. That's what we say.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right. So why do you think animals live shorter lives than humans?
It depends what animals you're talking about.
That's almost any animal.
Yeah.
There are a few that live a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Told you.
I mean,
boy, it'd
that's
be
a
easy.
question I never thought about.
So why do you think they live shorter?
I got to think about it longer.
Okay.
Uh,
Think about what a dog does.
what they do.
A dog's life. This is so wild. I don't even know why my mind goes here.
They don't do nothing.
They're loyal. They stay home. They protect. All they do is sit there and kind of wait for you to come home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You are their whole life as a dog. A cat could care less about you. A cat just lives by itself.
Yeah. In America, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously they're running from you, so you don't eat them. But
No, like, because other countries, they just walk around. in the neighborhood,
we domesticated
Yeah.
dogs and cats. But anyways, a dog just sits at home. It'll sit by the door sometimes and wait. I've seen it where like a dog's owner would die and they would go and just sit
Sit
at a
like the
place
grave.
for two more
Yeah.
years until
Sit
wait
where for
back.
2 more years?
Just sit and wait for that person to come back.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the dog's life
What?
wraps around all around you. Now understand this. How do you spell dog backwards?
God.
Okay, who named all the animals?
Yeah, you hollering.
Who named all the animals?
Yeah, for sure, God. It may make sense.
I didn't name the animals.
I wouldn't know all that,
People
but it,
didn't. Who named the animals? It's in the Bible.
yeah, I
There's
don't
only
know.
one person that was here.
Oh,
Adam.
Adam, yeah.
Yeah, so Adam named the animals. And the reason why God made Adam name the animals because what Adam named the animals is what they actually became. So he wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of the power that God, because when God says something's round, it's round. If God says, well, that round thing's a square now, it has to change. You know what I'm saying? Because what he says has to be true. Same thing in our life. How we perceive something is going to determine what it is. You might look at something and say, oh my God, that thing's scary. I might look at it and say, well, that looks like lunch. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it is what it is to that person.
Right.
So that's part of our God-like, our image of God in us. We can look at something, name it, and that's what it is. So that's why, like I said, I don't know why dog, spelled backwards, is God. But like I said,
Yeah.
think of some of the
I
attributes
ain't
that a
never
dog
thought about
has,
that shit.
and think about what God does for us. Some of that must have reminded Adam of what God did for him, just to flip that around, And a cat going backwards is tack. It's like a tack to me is just a pain in the butt. Cat can be like that. If they don't like you, they're just still try and, knock you with some claws. And sometimes they do warm up to people, but not to everybody. They kind of
Yeah.
imprint on one person.
Yep, you're right about that.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. Are we obligated to help the less fortunate? Are we obligated to help people that cannot help themselves?
We're not obligated.
No?
If you get a chance to do it yourself, I feel like you can do it, but you're not obligated to do anything.
All right. Someone's starving. Are you going to give them something?
It depends if I have something to eat. I think about myself
Bro, the way
first.
you work, you're always going to have something.
I understand what you.
just saying. You got to
But
think
yeah,
about
for
where
sure.
you're at and where somebody else is at. Are you obligated to help?
My answer don't change. It's still gonna be no. I'm not obligated to do it. If I want to, I will.
Okay.
But I'm not.
You're not obligated.
Once when you put the obligation, that's a different subject there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are you obligated to help anybody or the less fortunate?
I don't know. I know if I can, I will though.
Yeah.
If you can.
If I can, I definitely will.
Because the word obligate, it changes the whole story.
Change the meaning. I'm saying
Yeah.
the way you look at something changes when you when you
Because
look
it's
at
like,
it.
you have to do it. That's why I look at obligate.
How could you live with yourself? Say you have the last, I don't know, candy bar on earth. You know what I mean?
Okay.
There's nothing else to eat. You eat a piece, you going to give that person a piece that's dying or no? It could just be a test.
That might not
God
happen.
can make a bunch more candy bars. You know what I mean? When you share it. There is a story in the Bible talking about one of the prophets comes and sees this one lady and she only has enough food just for her and her son. They're going to eat it and they were going to die. And the prophet said, well, before you make yourself something and you eat, make me something. And she's like, huh? Like this, we were just going to eat this and, kind of die. But she did make something for him. and that prophet ends up telling her the way to make a whole bunch more. And then, like I said, they don't die.
Yeah, I get
because a lot of things that go through life is just a test. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
if you pass that test, then that thing goes away.
Most definitely. I mean, that's a good question to ask people.
Well, I'm saying just, and then your ideas will change too.
Yeah.
The more you have, the more you'll feel like you can help somebody.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like you got much, it's like that's actually when you want to help somebody, because when you show you help somebody, then
Yeah.
anything you lock up on earth, you're gonna lock up in heaven. That's just one of the keys.
Yeah. I mean, from in my sense, I help a lot of people, but I don't
You help a lot of people,
I don't
but
tell.
you don't
I
feel
don't
obligated.
I don't tell it. Like
You don't have to tell it.
a lot of people they
do
help and they record. They
Oh,
tell,
no,
they
nothing
do-
like that. Yeah.
I'm just
You're doing
saying.
it for the wrong reason.
Yeah. But most people, when I'm helping some people, you will never even know I helped that person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is life fair or not?
Is life fair?
Is life fair or not?
I feel like you make it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it fair?
I mean, it's not fair, but you can't just say that and not live your life.
So you cannot say that life is not fair?
You can say it physically, but in general, life would teach you a lesson. But you have to step up and keep it moving.
So is life the same for two different people?
It's what do you mean? Is it the same?
We all have
Same-
24 hours a day?
Yes,
Do we all make
same wise,
decisions?
but all our stories ain't gonna be the same at the end of the day.
None of them's going to be the same. We're
Yeah.
all making different decisions.
Yeah.
But is it fair?
Well, I mean, if you want to say so, I don't think so.
I don't think life's fair
Yeah,
at all.
life. Nah.
Some people got all this stuff and some people don't got anything.
Yeah, I mean, imagine when somebody is just born rich. Like, that's unfair for the person that was born broke. But at the same time, that's just how, that's just how you grew up.
It's how you look at it, because everybody's born rich.
I hear your point, but I'm talking about the realistically rich.
Like I said, it's not the access to the funds and to the ideas. It's the awareness to the access.
Yeah, I agree.
You're not aware that everybody
Because
has
if
a
you,
chance.
that's totally understandable. Because there's some families, they do have some, rich parents, and then from a point of
Easier
view,
to start. Yeah.
the parents have money, but the kids don't know how to earn the money, or they don't know, what kind of things to invest in and stuff like that. And sometimes the parents are so busy, they don't got time to teach the kids.
Okay.
I don't understand
They don't
that.
have to teach them anything. They just have to model what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They gotta-
model
they gotta
is
take
cool,
notes.
but
That's
if you
all.
don't understand what your parents is modeling, you'll never, really learn it.
Okay. So am I taking more than I am giving?
Yeah, for sure.
You think you're taking more than you give?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
You
what.
taking more than you give?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
said probably.
I'd be broke if I did.
Would you be?
Am I taking what I give? Yeah, I'll be broke if I did.
Okay.
I mean, don't look at taking as a negative.
No, taking is like, okay, say from a point of view, if I was making 10. If I was making 10, I can give 2, or I
Right.
gotta live off of at least 8.
That take your chances, take your opportunities. I look at it that.
Okay,
just
you can put it in a
taking
subject. and-
resources or anything like that. But
Okay.
obviously, if I'm taking my chances, my opportunities to better myself, somebody else is gonna get the short end of the stick if I take it. It comes on to that.
I mean, they got to step up to take it too.
So is there enough for everybody?
There's enough for everybody.
yeah.
And there's gonna be a lot left over.
Yeah.
Or is it more admirable to die for a cause or to live for one?
I feel like
So
live
live.
for one. Because once you die for the cause, it's cause. I don't want to say the cause stops.
Cause does not stop. JFK died for a cause, and
Okay. I mean,
it's still, it's still kind of.
okay, I hear your point. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's a funny question.
Is it more admirable?
Okay.
So do people admire it?
Yeah, I
more
hear you.
If you live for a cause or if you die for a cause.
I mean, if you die for it, they're gonna look at it more if you die for it. I mean, you're really about what
It's
you're.
about it.
Yeah, you was about your situation.
Okay.
So. But if you're still living for it, you can still move the movement. So
Yeah.
it's good both ways, from my
Go
understanding.
both ways. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's admirable for both.
Yeah, I can say that.
All right. So you didn't want to pick one. That's good. All right. Is there greatness in everyone?
Yeah,
Yes.
Why? You know, I go
Because
about that.
no, that's not a problem. I mean, they was born with it. It's just society. They decide to choose what they wanted to do from society, what society is telling them. And that's in that point of view is like everybody. Like we talked about it, I think last week. Everybody was born with good, and then we just get into our environment and our lives. We decide to make whatever we want it
Okay.
to be. Yeah.
So you think everybody's born with greatness?
Yeah, God gave everybody a gift. It's just up to you
Yeah.
to make the best of that gift.
Okay.
And,
All right. All right. Can't argue with that. Oof. What if you're actually cursed and living out punishment here on earth instead of blessed to be here? What do you think?
If I was
Flip that around. If you're cursed to be here on this earth, as opposed to being blessed to be here.
see, I could see that, though.
He said, I could definitely see
It's
it.
crazy.
So who's the source is cursing you,
It
or
says, what if we were actually cursed?
we as
like
humans?
As humans.
Okay, I
we
get
were
you.
cursed and we're actually living out punishment here on earth
Ooh,
instead of blessed to be here.
I think
Okay.
I can see that because
I get the point.
Adam and Eve, they broke God's promise. They're the reason why we're sinners. They're the
Okay.
reason why so much things. Everybody's like, no, this happened 50 years ago. Well, that wouldn't happen 50 years ago. If in the beginning, then they didn't cut themselves off from God and
Okay.
broke His promise. So I kind of see why you could say we're cursed to be on this earth because it was.
So you just totally forgot about Jesus.
Well, of course, Jesus is.
Okay.
That's definitely.
Well,
true.
say it. Yeah, just you're right. I mean, that did cause a curse.
But did it have to come to that?
I'm
He
saying it was done. He was slain before the foundation of the earth. So he already knew that we were going to do what we were doing. So he knew he was going to have to give up his son.
That's a tough argument.
Well, I'm just letting you know. But I'm saying the whole idea is it's how you look at it. Like when Adam was here with Eve and they did that with the apple or whatever fruit was, and actually opened up the eyes because they actually gave death its power because death had no power back then. Like there was no negativity on this earth until they could see it. You know what I mean? And that's what that fruit of the good and evil was about. Once he ate that fruit, now he just gave death that power. So when Jesus came back, he kind of washed off all the sins. Now death has no sting because we understand that once we die, we just go back to God and we're cool. That we're talking about heaven. So if you honestly believe that we're cursed to be here on this earth, then I guess you don't understand what's going on. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, that's what happened, though. Like I said, once you know about good and evil, then obviously evil is going to be here as much as good is,
Yeah.
But hopefully. All right, we'll move on. Ooh. Do we pick our genders before we get here?
That's already a line from the beginning. You don't pick that.
Oh, if you are, you're born with what you.
Oh, you guys talking about okay? That's not it.
No, I hear your point. What you're saying
before we get
here. I hear you. I heard
Want
your
to be
point.
a man or a woman before you got here. Like when you was in
I hear you,
before,
yeah.
before he knitted you in your mama's womb.
I
Did you
feel like
choose your
that
gender?
was. I mean, that was already decided from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Everything is.
you can't change all that.
I didn't ask about that. Come on now.
No, when in the beginning, I'm sorry when
okay. No. Okay.
the source started
Yeah.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I hear your point, and I hear the other point too. So
Okay. Would you have chosen not to be born if given the chance? Wow. Would you have chosen not to be born
And do what?
if you were given the chance? That means you would just be living in spirit, and not in the flesh, not in the body.
Pretty cool. I don't know.
But you already there, and you're going back, bro.
True. That's
The only
but
way
don't
you know
that.
what hot and cold is, you know what chocolate is, know what love is by getting put in this body.
and stuff.
Yeah.
saying that's why he gave you the 5 senses. You know what I mean, when he put you down here.
Yeah, he said he don't want to live that no more.
I'm saying in spirit, you don't know what you know.
You don't
wouldn't
know
what high or low is. You wouldn't know what
He gonna he's gonna get used to it.
Yeah.
I'm just playing. I'm just joking. But
All right. I say no. I want to be more. Okay.
he said,
Does God sin?
nah,
No. Why?
because does God sin? Okay, that's a good question. Well, I look at it as
Sound like no was a good answer, but
yeah, it is a good answer, but like from he already, from a point of view, when he put everything aligned, he understood, the rules and regulations and how you're gonna sin if you created the rules and regulations.
okay.
It don't make no sense to me,
What's your definition of sin? Any idea?
Anything that goes against God's will.
And
Okay,
he's
so
not
can
gonna go
God
against,
his
himself.
own will,
No.
No. When he makes a promise, he keeps
just like a king. That's
Yeah.
how I look at it. When you make an edict as a king, you can't even go get your own edict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sin, basically, by definition, is miss the mark.
Miss what?
Miss the mark. Like
Okay.
It's a worded, like if I was shooting a bow and arrow, if I missed the
The
center of
target.
mass,
Yeah.
I sinned. That's what they say. You know, miss the mark.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So God, like you said, there is no darkness in God. It's all light.
That's blessing.
I mean, so I'd say no. All right. Could the world exist without evil?
We talked about last week. I'll say no. I believe it was. I believe what I said about that was because everybody got their own free of will and they could decide to do whatever they want.
So how does somebody know what good is if evil wasn't here?
Well, we ain't had to worry about evil. Good was always there.
I'm saying evil's always been around, but we didn't even know about it until we
Yeah.
happened.
So yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm saying, how would we know how good we had it if God didn't introduce evil? God already knew the evil was coming. It's already there because it's just like you can't have one without the other.
I hear your
Having a
point.
one-sided piece of bread. Yeah, one-sided piece of bread
That means it's just
or one-sided
it's a
coin.
must. It's a must, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like darkness and light. Yeah.
I'm saying,
Okay.
we didn't know what light was.
You have
The
to
dark
have
wasn't
night.
here.
You have to have nighttime with daytime.
To have daytime.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's always night or it's always day.
Okay, I put one or the other.
Yeah, so something to understand about nature itself. Yeah. Okay, we're almost done with these. If you knew one of your loved ones was gonna die today, what would you tell them?
I don't got nothing else. I don't got nothing to say. Yeah, I just prepare my suit.
You better get your stuff in order.
Nah,
If you knew a loved one was gonna die today, what would you tell them? I guess I don't want you to be my preacher, but go ahead.
nah, I'm not gonna be that. There's not much for me to tell.
Not much for you to tell?
What else? What am I supposed to say? This is just the journey. So it's the time to
It's
end
your
it.
time.
Yeah, there's really not much for
Buck
me to
if you
say.
buck. What do you think? Did you tell them anything?
Tell him I love him.
Tell them I love them. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good way. Okay.
See you soon.
See you soon. Okay.
I could do.
All right. Well, this is a question to see if you guys understand something. Can animals rationalize and reason?
I feel so.
You think they can rationalize and they can reason?
Rationalize is like, say, from a point of view, if you wanted to go left or right, he didn't understand he's going left, or it's rationalize, thinking, deciding.
Rationalizing and reasoning is higher level thinking. Yes. Like,
So,
you think they rationalize and reason?
I mean, they don't sit down and think about the whole point.
Some
It's
animals a little
a
bit.
quick
You think?
reaction.
You've been talking to them?
Nah, maybe a bit. I don't know, but nah. I don't think.
But I mean, I see where you're going.
no, because they. Nah,
Nah.
I don't know. They've been the same for years.
Do animals have souls?
I wouldn't know all that.
Soul is your mind or will
It
and your
has
emotions.
has a mind, but it
have
don't have
emotions?
free of will. It has emotions.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's missing the will.
It's missing the will.
Yeah, free of will.
A dog can do whatever it wants, right? Or cat can do whatever it wants. Doesn't it got free will?
You could say so. Yeah, can't fly. So I'm just
Can't fly. It can if it jumps in a container going on a plane.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it does
So do
make
animals
decisions.
have souls?
Yeah.
If you know the definition of a soul, you would know the answer to that.
Animals have soul. I mean, it's not like
Remember,
they're
your
going to
soul
heaven
is
or
your-
hell.
Is your
So-
mind, your free will, and your emotions. So it has emotions.
Yeah.
It has a free will, kind of. It doesn't. Well, it doesn't really have free will. It really has what's called instinct.
Instinct.
Okay.
That's what I was
That
thinking.
kind of governs what an animal does. But as far as the mind goes, when's the last time you saw an animal build a cell phone?
Okay, I see where you coming from. Yeah, not that I know of. I believe
Can't
it
happen.
has been done. Maybe.
Can't happen. I don't care if you're the best chimpanzee out there.
Yeah,
Ooh,
too.
ooh, and you can tell what it's saying. It's not going to put together a cell phone.
Okay.
Okay,
Understood.
because that higher level thinking is actually reserved for the human race.
Okay, I get
We're
your point.
made in the image of God, so our imagination is what separates us, and our mind really what separates us from the animals. Now, when we're acting foolish and we're acting on instinct, that's why we say, "Well, you act like an animal," because you're not using your mind. We can choose not to use our mind because we have free will. So that's when you see people going around shooting each other and stuff like that. That's you're not using your mind on that. All right. What I wanted to talk about today. I've told you guys before, if you want to scale something up or you want to get bigger, a lot of people think you have to add something to what you're doing. I'm here to tell you that is not correct, because that would be working harder and not smarter.
Right.
Really what you need to do is you need to find out what you need to eliminate from what you're doing. So when you're able to eliminate things from what you're doing, you actually streamline what you're doing, and you're going to get better results with less work. So it's all a mindset, and how you do stuff. So I actually have 20 things here you should eliminate right now.
Okay, I'm listening.
And this is for business, this is for relationships, for everything. Just if you
Anybody.
eliminate these things, then you're no longer going to have to, waste your time on things. So chasing happiness. Happiness is not a destination. The thrill is actually in the chase. When you pursue happiness, first of all, you never catch it. Anything you pursue or you go chase after, you're going to keep chasing. And happiness is fleeting. Like I said, it's just a physical thing that happens in a situation. And when the situation changes, your happiness goes away. So number one, chasing happiness, not a good idea. Number two, short-term thinking. Okay, you got to understand this life is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So if you think you're going to get rich in 2 seconds, that's how quick you're going to lose it too.
Yeah.
So remember, understand about the tree. The tree grows down before it can grow up and look good.
Yeah, for sure.
And it grows gravitropically first, so towards gravity, and then it grows what's called phototropically, or towards light. Like when we try to chase success, the first thing we do is we try to build a platform, get on there, and try and get a bunch of followers, and but we never really built the roots.
Yeah,
Never really
that
built-
ain't gonna work. It can
that's
fall
why it goes way
anytime.
quick. Yeah, because your character is what's going to keep you there. It's not your talents. So short-term thinking is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Greatness is not rented; it's owned. So if you become great, that means you've put your time in, you've paid full price for all your experiences, your ideas, your thoughts, and people can't take that away from you. Okay, goals, dreams. So get rid of short-term thinking. Get rid of negative self-talk. So the enemy within actually lies. Do you guys remember what the word lies stands for?
Lies.
What is a lie as opposed to a truth? A lie.
limited.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
limited
Limited
idea,
idea, yeah.
explained or understood.
Okay.
Okay, so
Good idea.
if you're full of lies, like I said, if you're saying oh, I can't do this, I can't do that, you got to get rid of all that by replacing it with the truth. I mean, the more truth you have in you, lies can't affect you.
All right.
People can't affect you. Situations can't affect you. Something also called positive affirmations you can do.
Yeah, tell
Basically
yourself
just
good
talk to
things.
yourself about how good you can be. Like I said, reading the truths about God is definitely helps. So get rid of that negative self-talk. Get rid of your comfort zone. Okay, comfort zone is nothing more than a prison of your own making where dreams are just out of your reach. So if you're in your comfort zone, you're never going to get where you're trying to go.
Understood.
Okay, because you get lazy in your comfort zone. You don't really try real hard. You're not grinding. You're not moving
Right.
anywhere. So real growth actually happens when you're uncomfortable.
That's
So
true.
if you're not uncomfortable, that means you're not trying. It's just not. It's not where you're trying to go. Okay, so get rid of the comfort zone. Next one is feeling sorry for yourself. Why should you get rid of that?
It's like,
give you all the definitions.
Just a
I mean,
negative
for me, it's like putting yourself down for, so
Get rid of lies.
so it's like taking the light away from you.
Yeah.
Okay. And why is that a bad thing? Why is it bad to put yourself down?
Because you're not gonna be thinking positive. You're
You're
gonna,
not going to be thinking positive.
yeah, because it's all negativity involved.
Okay, remember at the beginning what I was talking about as far as naming animals and stuff, like he told Adam what he thinks about a situation is exactly what it is. So when you're thinking negatively about a situation, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a
Right.
negative situation. So if you have to even make it a hack or something, think positively about a negative situation, you're going to get by it, with just the thought alone.
Right.
Because thoughts are spiritual, facts are physical. So facts can change. So the idea is to not do that. So you don't want to feel sorry for yourself. It's a pity trap. It's almost like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So when you're feeling pitiful, it's like you're not doing anything to get you going. So instead of thinking of why me, think try me.
Ooh.
So your mindset changes. That's I told you when I was
Yeah.
coaching, I got to the point where I say I no longer compete, I dominate. And it's just a thought. But I'm telling you, I just kept winning.
Right.
Because it's a thought that actually is empowering as opposed to, oh man, what happens if they play better than us and we lose? You're going to find the answers to the questions that you ask.
Right.
So if you ask better questions, you're going to get better answers.
Ooh.
Okay. Next one you got to get rid of: social media overload.
Okay.
That's a big one for a lot of people right now.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Why do you got to get rid of social media overload? What's it do?
Full of
It takes a lot of your time.
Okay, it's a time sucker for sure. What are you doing when you're looking on social media? What do you think you're doing?
You
Besides wasting time.
admire other people's lifestyles.
Right. Yep. It's a big one.
Absolutely. So you're actually judging and you're actually comparing yourself
Yeah.
to other people. When you compare, that's called the thief of all joy
Exactly.
because you have a different gift than somebody else has. And the one thing when you're judging, it's like every time you swipe, it's a new judgment. So all your mental capacity is actually getting killed by a stupid cell phone.
Yeah.
So now I can't think of what I need to do for myself to get better. Like I said, all that drain on you can go away if you don't, social media overload. Because you feel the need to be connected. And this is actually the catalyst of mental health, envy, and discontent. Unless you find stuff that inspires you. You can use social media to learn. You can build skills. You can do different things with it. But like I said, anything that has a positive is going to have its equal
Negative,
opposite
yeah.
reaction, So
Yeah, one or
negative-
the other.
Negative's just as strong. Okay. All right. So the next one is comparing yourself to others. Why don't you want to compare yourself to others?
Yeah, I don't
almost
do
gave you
that.
The answers already. You don't do that.
No, I mean they inspire. I'd say if somebody inspire me, yes. I mean I'm like, okay, let me see if they can help me out in a certain way. But comparing and to put myself down, that ain't happening.
Okay. It actually robs you of your drive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, because that person may have been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah,
Hey, maybe you just started. You're like,
He
why
did,
can't I
yeah.
do that?
'Cause it
You
takes
don't
30
realize.
years.
You don't realize how much underneath the surface, how much he's
Yeah,
grown. His character.
Because you're just seeing it right now.
Yeah, all you see is his fruit. You see the top part of his tree.
Yeah, true.
So you're comparing your tree to his tree, and your seed might still be in the ground. So, so you want to focus inward, not outside. Everyone fights battles you know nothing about. So, like I said, they've probably been through whatever, and they've gotten to the point where they're at. So just don't compare yourself to them. All right, next one you want to get rid of, eliminate right now is energy drainers. What would your definition of an energy drainer be? What could be?
Someone draining your energy for no reason.
Yeah, give me an example. What could drain your energy?
Say video games.
Absolutely could.
Yeah.
You got anything else that can drain your energy?
Pleasing people.
People pleasing for sure. Okay. Now, why is that an energy drainer? Why shouldn't you try to please people? Because
No one's ever really gonna be fully pleased, and
you can't control what they
right.
think about what you're
Yeah.
doing. Now, you're trying hard to make them change their mind about you, but they're still going to have their ideas about you.
Right.
So when you cannot control something, that's something you don't want to do. You know what I mean, you're just putting a lot of energy to something that's no good. So people and activities, zap strength, dim light, who exhausts you. Like commitment's actually hooked with obligations and not passion. Sometimes you commit to something that you do just because of out of obligation. You know, you think you want to help this person because they help you. You know, that's going to be an energy drainer. Unless your passion's hooked to it, you probably shouldn't be part of it. Just because somebody else is all excited about something, just like I'll give you an example, my wife with the dogs, that doesn't mean I'm necessarily as excited as she is. You know, I mean, it's a nice little business, a nice little whatever, but she has a passion for it and I don't. You know, so that's definitely an energy drainer for sure. Your habits that you have need to empower you, not to drain you. Okay. Next one, you need to get rid of a self-doubt, a voice that says you cannot. Those are lies. Acknowledge it and celebrate victories. The whole idea is people, a lot of their self-doubt comes from things that they've done in the past that they did not do well. And you just keep thinking of how you did it before. And then that just kind of pushes you towards, you know, what you're doing now. You know, so you have to, like I said, what's the past for? Any idea? It's
Learning.
not necessarily, yeah, it's definitely from learning. You want to learn lessons from the past and move on. But the only reason why you should doubt yourself is really no reason. I mean, you should.
Yeah, that ain't
you know,
worth
if you put the right truth in there, I can do all things that Christ strengthens me. There's all kinds of truths about that shouldn't have self-doubt. What about blaming others? Why doesn't that help? A lot of people blame other people.
Yeah, yeah.
They blame the government.
I used to
They
do
blame-
that, yeah.
They blame the gas prices. They blame the.
You're really taking the focus off of what really the problem is. So you start blaming.
Yeah, you don't take responsibility for anything, and like I said, it just takes responsibility away from you. So, you actually give away your power when you blame somebody else, because you give them the reason why you're not doing something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean,
and
like I
that's
said,
what
now
it
you got to
get
wait
out.
for them to change before you can do it,
Right.
and that may never happen.
All right.
So that's a bad thing. So you're not a victim of your circumstances. You got to accept responsibility, and you got to change blame to accountability. Also, that was another thing we talked about before, consciousness level. The first level of consciousness is to me. Everything happens to me.
Right.
And if you're in that level of consciousness, you have no control over anything. You know, you're always blaming everybody else. The other thing you got to get rid of is multitasking. What the heck is multitasking?
We're doing a lot of things at one time
Why do you got to get rid of multitasking?
because you can only do one thing at one time.
You can only do one thing at one time.
Yeah, if you're gonna do something, give your full energy.
Give that focus and
Focus to it.
okay. Yeah, it's a myth. Actually, you know, you end up doing things below your standard of what you can actually accomplish when you're trying to do 2-3 things at once.
Yeah.
My wife thinks she's real busy, you know, all about nothing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what happens, you know. And then she puts me in her little, I call it a brain dump. Like, I'm like, I'm not thinking about that right now. So it's serious to me. So quality always trumps quantity every time. Your focus, your efficiency goes up when you're able to focus. All right. Next thing you want to get rid of is pessimism.
I don't even know what that is.
What's that? What do you think pessimism is? Pessimistic about something, as opposed to optimistic.
You're kind of worried about it, I guess.
Yeah, pessimism is kind of like you already think you can't do something.
Oh yeah, that ain't
Like
gonna
glass is half empty. An optimist say, well, that glass is
That's
half
half
full.
full, yeah.
Yeah, it's the idea. But if you're pessimistic about something, you're always seeing the negative side of something.
Yeah.
So understand it. Remember, if we have God in us, you know, our spirit, what we see is what we get.
Right.
So if you're pessimistic, you're always going to see the negative. They call that catastrophizing.
Right.
I said before, you know, that word is like, ooh, that kind of hits a little bit, because I know people in this world that if you tell them something's going on, they're like, oh my God, it's never going to work out. I'm like, huh? You're seeing through a different lens that I see.
Right. Right.
So, yeah, it's a mental trap of failure before you even do something.
You gonna
So
get
if you already don't believe you can do it, you ain't going to do it.
yeah,
'Cause you're
that
gonna
kills
do
you
what
from the
believe.
beginning.
Yeah. So optimism, you see the good in everything. Opportunity, not obstacle. So the way you see something is either going to be an opportunity or it's going to be an obstacle. If it's an opportunity, you can go at it, you know, put your focus on it and just, you know, get it done. If it's an obstacle, it's like, I got to get around it. I got to get over it. It's not even in your way. You're in your way.
Yeah. Ooh.
So, okay. So the next one is people pleasing and approval seeking. Biggest thing about that is there's no finish line. We can't control other people's perceptions, opinions, and approvals. So if you're always seeking someone else's validation for something, like I said, you're never going to do it yourself. I tell teachers at school all the time, I'd rather beg for forgiveness than ask permission. So if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it.
Simple as
You're
that.
going to have to stop me. And as long as I keep my character and everything in line to where, it's for the kids, I'm okay. Where you start thinking about it for yourself and trying to get ahead yourself is different. But the idea is I don't seek anybody's approval. Okay, what about resentment? What happens when you resent something? Why do you want to get rid of resentment? Resent means like kind of like hate something, or you kind of
Yeah, when you
it's not
deny
gonna change.
something, like, I'm not doing that.
it's not going to change. They say it's like holding a hot coal to throw at somebody else, but the whole time you're holding on
Holding
to
on to
it,
it,
you're
you're
Burning yourself, yeah.
Yeah, it's like drinking poison and thinking somebody else is going to die.
Yeah.
I'm saying you don't do that. You don't hold resentment.
Oh, it's like, holding something back, that hurts.
Yeah,
That
you're
hurts
stopping
you.
yourself
Yeah.
because of what someone else did
Did,
to you.
yeah.
So what is the answer to resentment?
Letting go.
Forget about it. Yeah.
Forgiveness. That's the biggest thing. If you forgive the person for doing it, that don't mean that you forget about what they did and you don't let them do it again, but you forgive them so it's no longer your problem.
Yeah.
So let go of that anger and pain. It's a gift to yourself. All right. Next thing you need to let go of. Remove the noise. No news. Identify noise in your life, social media notifications, news watching, Netflix. You need to prioritize what really matters.
Entertainment.
Why are they coming up with all this entertainment right now? Why is there 10 different streaming systems?
It's easy to connect with the people when they want to distract them to do,
Absolutely. It's
do
the
that
drug that
to
they
be
give
focused.
you to basically exchange for your goals that you have in life.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's what Netflix is.
Like
That's
you
what-
could have been something, but you was watching Netflix the whole time.
Man, that's why I told myself this is my truth. I'd rather be educated than entertained,
Right.
because entertainment gets you nothing. It gets you bored, and it's a trap because you watch it and then all of a sudden there's a whole season on it. Now you're binge watching it. Like I said, who cares what that person did? That person's already living their best life because they're getting
Yeah, they're getting paid
what
for
they're
that.
doing.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
and
sitting
you
on the
paying
couch
to
and
watch
you
it.
Paying to watch it. You paying to watch it, and
You paying him.
yeah, it's bad. So, all right. So remove the noise. Remove any kind of gossip. If someone's talking about someone and you're in a circle, as soon as you walk away, they're gonna be talking about you. So the people that are gossiping will be gossiping.
Simple.
So you have a choice whether you want to, join in, or if you could just say, "Nah, I'm good." I don't need to talk about people like that in front of me, behind their back. If I have something to say to somebody, I'm gonna tell them to their face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna tell somebody else about someone. But it's like, for what? All it does is just cause pain. It's actually, gossip actually poisons your mindset. Because think about it. Anything that comes out of your mouth, who's it really talking about?
Yourself.
Yeah. So if you feel that way about someone else, that's something inside of you got to change. So that's something that people don't understand about gossip. It's, you think you're talking about someone else, but your subconscious mind doesn't know who you're talking about. You know what I mean? Because you truly only know yourself. You truly don't know that other person. You see what they did and you can, kind of verbalize what they did, but really your subconscious thinks you're talking about yourself. And you get what you talk about. Okay, the next thing you need to get rid of is waiting for the perfect moment. When's the perfect moment?
Right now.
Right now.
Right now. Start now.
The perfect moment.
If you didn't start at 10, when's the best time to plant a tree? It'd be 10 years ago, you'd be sitting underneath it. But if it ain't then, now, it's the best time. So procrastination success is by moving and failing. Let me see here. Yeah. Biggest thing about success is you got to move and you got to be able to fail to get to success, because failing is part of success.
Oh.
All right, next one. Don't take yourself too seriously. Does anybody take yourself too seriously?
I think I've done so.
Yeah, I've had in the past. I've thought I was the stuff on certain things, as far as the pool playing and stuff, So if you embrace joy and spontaneity, success is about the journey, not the destination. Cultivate a sense of play, new hobbies. I guess when you get better at something, eventually you get to the point where you think you're better than a lot of people at that.
Oh, the ego.
So your ego comes in, you take yourself too seriously. But if you get rid of that and just know that you're where you're at because of your decisions you made, you'll be good.
Simple.
Yeah. So let go of the past. You gotta let go of the past. I hear people all the time. I go in the pool, I'll go in there today. Oh, I remember when I did this. I remember when I. It's like, what are you doing now? You're sitting on the sideline talking about what you did. So you ain't about nothing. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not the person you worry about either. So anchoring yourself in the past is like driving while staring in the rearview mirror. So if I'm driving, I'm looking in the rearview mirror, I'm going to come crashing into something, that's coming at me right now.
Right.
Just by looking back. And
Whole time,
yeah.
your windshield's 20
no.
times bigger than the rear.
You ain't lying. The rearview mirror is this big for a reason. You know what I mean? That's why you ain't supposed to be looking back there all the time. All right. Last one you want to get rid of is procrastination.
Oh,
Does that hit you a little bit?
no.
No,
Me?
that's good.
No, that's not me.
It hits me. I don't know that.
Not now. Before, yeah.
Yeah, it definitely hits me.
Yeah.
Like if I can do it later, I got it. I'm doing it later.
Yeah,
I got to. That's because I got too much stuff in my life going on
Right.
to where everything can't be that important right now.
I get it out the way right now, so I got to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know if I don't get it out the way right now, it's going to bother me later on, in the day or life.
Yeah. Even if it's a big thing, I mean, if you procrastinate over big things, you can break them into smaller tasks, set deadlines, and reward yourself for, doing little things. It gets rid of procrastination.
Okay.
Eliminate distractions and focus. So if you eliminate everything that holds you back, your growth is gonna kind of scale up. Like I said, if you get rid of all the things I was just talking about, it's going to be easier to be successful. Because those little things are almost like foxes, and those little foxes will come and eat the little chickens here and there. You don't. It doesn't really bother you until something big comes in. But you want to get rid of those little foxes. All right. Last thing I was going to talk about is laws of success. Basically, number one law of success is you have to have an aim. Why would you have to have an aim?
You got to have a target. You got to make sure you know what you're trying to hit.
Okay. One thing you got to remember is you don't actually create success. You attract success.
That's 100%.
Same thing with money. You don't create money. You attract money.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that? How do you attract? Just for example, money.
I mean, it's called networking. Meeting the people
Building relationships.
Meeting people that need your service or need your product.
Okay.
And that's how I really go back and forth.
Attract money?
Going to where it's at.
That's the truth, though. I mean, you can't make something where there is nothing.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. You got to be around it to get it.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about attracting it though is becoming a person of value. I mean, what did you do to get the job you have right now?
Went to school.
Yeah, you went to school, so you became more valuable.
Yeah.
With specific knowledge of something that other people, the average person, doesn't have.
All right.
So you become more valuable. So you actually attract a higher salary than if you were just going out and doing any old thing that everybody can do. Okay. So really, for success, you become an attractive character. And you have to have, like I said, have an aim. So you got to have 100% clarity. You have to have 100% belief at 100% of the time. When you get to that point, then your aim gets laser focused. All right. So you got to be clear on what you want. You got to aim at what you want, obviously, and you got to believe that you deserve what you're trying to get. Okay. If you don't have those two things, really, clarity and belief, you're going to be in trouble. Number two is belief in your ability. So you hold a crazy vision. You walk into achievement and be in that space. Okay, you never achieve a future you cannot see in your mind.
Yeah.
So
you didn't ever imagine it.
Yeah, your imagination is strong here. Your will. They say definition of will is being able to put a picture in your mind of something you want, and you can hold it there until it actually materializes. So that's your will. That's a higher level of functioning that humans have that animals don't. So you can hold a picture in your mind long enough and focus on it and, create emotions for it, and then you could manifest it.
Right.
So you got to believe in your ability. Next one is you got to have a positive mental attitude. Now, your frequency is actually what you frequently see. What does that mean? What are they talking about frequency?
It's like your actions or what you do.
Okay.
What you do.
Something,
How you say
something deeper
things.
than that.
Your frequency is
Your
like
frequency. What's a frequency?
it's like a wave.
It's like a
So like
wave.
say if you come in the room, you come with positive energy.
Okay.
The frequency will be positive from my understanding. So it's just the energy that you bring around, others or things.
All right. What you got anything for that or no?
I was gonna say frequencies, just wavelengths and stuff like that.
Okay. Understand this. Everything in this world vibrates at a frequency.
That's true.
Even this table's moving.
Yeah.
If you look at it in a microscope, it's it's just moving.
Yeah.
Okay, it has lower frequency because it's a solid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the higher the frequency, like the highest frequency is like love and joy. So to get to that higher frequency,
Earthquake.
earthquake is it's probably a low one. Yeah, because that's powerful, but it's not. Yeah, it's not changing. I'm trying to think how to explain this, but your frequency that you're on is what you frequently see.
Yeah.
So how you view things is basically where your frequency is at.
Basically your
So
environment.
you want to basically get higher. The higher the frequency you are, then the less things will bother you in your environment too. So if you see something that's going on that you think you're above it, then you don't have to deal with it.
It's none of my business. You keep
Yeah.
moving.
So that positive mental attitude, that's talking about your frequency. So instead of seeing obstacles, seeing death, seeing waste, seeing all this different stuff, you actually see opportunities, abundance, goodness, or grace. Okay, the higher the frequency you vibrate at, the higher, like I said, you see the good stuff that you want to see. The world is a reflection of who you are and not how the world is. The world is a reflection of who you are and not how it is. What the heck? That's a little bit deep. So the world is a reflection of how you are,
Yeah, that's a wild one.
but not really how it is.
How you
What
see
are,
it.
you don't get what you want.
Yeah. I look at it as how you see it.
How you see it is how you are. That's exactly what it is. Like I said, whatever you frequently see is what your frequency is.
Okay, I get your
So
point.
the world is exactly how you are. If I walk into a room like this, I see things differently than say like a plumber walks in here. If a plumber walks in here, he could see right through these walls and tell you where your
All the
pipe
stuff,
is going
yeah.
and where the water goes outside. Like I said, their frequency is different than mine because that's
Yeah.
what they do.
That's his best. That's his understanding.
Yeah. Okay.